Uh, I wanted to link to you what you said, Kees. I think it's very interesting and very important to point out um, the point that we have digitization as well as an opportunity. Where I'm wondering what is actually the background, the foundation of the current scheme of the digital industries, of the digitization. There is, in my understanding, based on or beginning with this over-accumulation, the fundamental question of how long can it actually last. We have this process of digital industries that are developing, although we have to be careful with it. I just read the other day that there's a huge backdrop in the use of Facebook, for instance. But leaving this aside, we have this kind of non-technical network effect, if you want, an economic network effect. Investment in digital industries that reinvest their monies in other digital enterprises, that again reinvest their money, so it's a permanent circle, it's a permanent network, enhancing the number of people employed, getting new actors into the field, but very much oriented towards exactly this point of building up bubbles, trying to reinvest capital to keep it going with this non-technical network effect, but at the same time with a non-material background. So there is nothing produced that is really of value. It's a circulation of non-values, if you want. So from here I want to go as well, looking at the other contribution on shopping centers. I wouldn't suggest that they are places of socialization. Still, I would say there are new forms of these shopping centers of which socialization of people is part of. Immediate socialization in terms of not going there to buy something, but going there to shopping. If I talk to many people, they go shopping. They are not going to buy, but they're going shopping. Shopping centers have, of course, the shops, but they have as well the coffee shops, the places to meet, or they have little events, catching attention, keeping people there, getting people into the shopping center, because they know, even if they don't look for the program, they know something is happening there, something interesting, something of entertainment. It's, I think, on the one hand, of course, a concept of grabbing attention. At the same time, I think it is more than that. It is grabbing attention and shaping, designing, influencing, establishing certain ways of understanding, of entertainment and thinking. We frequently speak, especially in this context of digitization, of short attention spans. Of course, an important point, relevant point, our mindsets are geared towards short periods of time where we look, where we spend attention. At the same time, I think this is process going on with capitalism for a long time, that actually commodities are made to shorten attention spans, not in terms of corrupting goods that break together after a short while, but in terms of more or less fragmenting reality, fragmenting and putting, well, wrapping them up into a larger identity. Not identity politics plays a role as well, but it is the commodity you buy, and with the commodity, with many commodities at least, you are supposed to buy as well, being part of the Apple family, being part of the EasyJet generation, things like this. I think it's a commodity that allows it. You buy a small item, possibly not even very expensive, but you are part of something large. And at the same time, because it is not you, you are fragmenting your identity and setting it up in different areas. Short term, short attention time, going on to the next, going back, moving to and fro. It's interesting, I saw it recently with these, I know it only from YouTube, but you have these advertising little films before, where they are not little, they are not short, but after 3 seconds you can click them off. Don't want to see it, skip it. First I thought always, what a stupid thing, who wants to see them? As soon as possible I skip them. But somebody from the sector, advertising sector, said actually it's a great thing. You are forced to catch the attention in a very short period of time, and if you manage doing so, then you have a kind of net into which the people trap. Yes, actually it's true. And if you go and watch many of these advertisements, in one way or another, they are appealing. You can watch them as a little film. You think, what is happening next? And this is exactly the idea of not short attention spans, but actually long attention spans in terms of building identities, in terms of building opinions. If you look at some advertisements for goods, I wrote on another occasion talking about populism with the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation in Berlin, about this matter of Aldi, this German shop, grocery and everything, not only German anymore, but joining the campaign for the federal elections. I think it was an amazing thing how they used this and how it is really then opening to populism in terms of, yes, there is somebody looking after us. Yes, this is actually about identity building. In this one case, the shop, okay, leave them, that's only in inverted commas profit, but as well then, of course, movements who build around one item entire identities and work their mobilization around it. Now, I don't want to say this is a good thing, but I want to say that we have to think about ways as well of not joining, not imitating this, but as well to look how can we engage people in discussions, in debates and looking where are they. They will not come necessarily, or only those who are especially interested will come if we organize an event. But they are in the shopping malls, they are in the streets. This is something where I think we should make more out of this, going to places where people are, in terms of working, in terms of entertainment, in terms of shopping and whatsoever, and joining them. And actually saying joining them is a little bit problematic. I think it is us as well. If you look who is in which way using Facebook, Twitter, and whatsoever, we are part of it. We are using this, in many cases, we are using it in the same way. We are getting annoyed going to the shopping center, and at the same time we go there and enjoy ourselves. Contradictions amongst us, but as well when we look at this question of neoliberalism. I think we should skip, at this stage, we should skip this term neoliberalism because it says kind of everything. The neoliberals are a group of very contradictory political, economic, ideological forces. They are talking about deregulation, and we have currently this neoliberal system, one of the highest degrees of regulation. They talk about free competition. What do we have? We have a highly monopolized system with the banks and with others. So there is something we have to consider as well in a broader sense, talking about contradictions and talking about how can we use or utilize or work with these contradictions that we face. I think Anat Singh is her name. She talked about super exploitation. Super exploitation means the market utilizing, making use out of characteristics like race, gender, religion, whatsoever, without immediately commodifying them. This happens, commodification, but as well making use in terms of general exploitation, super exploitation as she calls it. And I would have the question, if you want, can't we develop strategies based on reversing this, of taking over and saying, yes, of course, we shop and we go for whatever, Adidas and Apple and all these brands. It is actually interesting if you look at, if you listen at CEOs, how they understand brands. To say, okay, we all go with it, not least because we need these items in many cases, but at the same time, we use your space. We use the internet for our communication, and we use it in a way that we secure it in terms of non-interference. In substantial terms. So, just one last point on globalization. We frequently it came up talking about foreign direct investment, foreign capital. Again, a question: is it enough, or is it even correct to use this term, which I think is too traditional? What capital managed is establishing for itself a single market. They did it. they have this global idea. It's a single market. The world is a single market. There are some exceptions. But at the same time, or the other way, they suggest actually with a single market, we behave like a firm, global actors, and everybody gets a certain share in the process of production. In economics, we talk about value chains. This is the image, and to some extent it is a reality. If you look, however, at the reality behind it, this great work of Benjamin Selvin or started to look at it, it is about poverty chains, maintaining basically the division, the colonialist system, the dependency, development of underdevelopment, as Andre Gunde Frank said, maintaining it, but putting it into the own realm. They don't do it anymore, but Mercedes-Benz was advertisement at some stage made by Mercedes-Benz. Not made in Germany, the classical example for this is good quality, but making it by Mercedes-Benz. Wherever it had been produced, it didn't matter for them. So I think this was a telling shift in terms of really showing this is a single market. We are acting on a single market, but you are depending still on the nation state. You get your, if you get it, old age pension from there, you get your social security, your healthcare, and. So we're there. We maintain the segmentation. And this means as well that we have these contradictions again. We heard about Romania having this influence of foreign direct investment. At the same time, people emigrating, leaving the country because the wages are still very low, and especially certain segments of the workforce leave because the income, their qualification is good, they are needed somewhere else, so they go somewhere else. In Ireland, we have had the difficult feature when we have had the boom supported or made possible by foreign direct investment. We found exactly this. It was the other way around. People came back to Ireland. People from other countries came to Ireland to participate in this boom. That it was to some extent a fake boom doesn't matter. At least it was offering some perspectives. Again, these contradictions within neoliberalism, it doesn't really matter, I think, a foreign capital or domestic capital. Of course, it is important, but that's another. The point I want to make here is that is another question. What matters is that certain groups of capital are strong enough, their industries are strong enough to make their sector or for their sector a single market. And that's where they act. And this is important then to relate the question of foreign direct investment or foreign capital to the question which industries are actually developed, are getting impulses, and whenever they leave, they run the entire country into crisis. So at the end of the day, of my contribution, so at the end, it's the 2 points. Look at the contradictions of what we call neoliberalism, and look at the contradictions that are leading then with the overaccumulation, closely linked to neoliberalism or what we call it, closely linked, look at the same time at over-accumulation, and with this, the foundation of digitization. The bubble economy is developing there, and then the possibility to move on there and reoccupy places for our purposes, and our meaning the purposes of basically the citizen or the denizen that is interested in really making progress instead of being drawn more and more into exploitative patterns. Thank you.